We've been talking about compost, you know, and there's some precautions you need to use when you're making compost. It's good to use your table scraps, your grass clippings, you know, weeds, your waste that you pull out of your garden, cow manure, chicken, goat, you know, anything like that is good to use. We have a cautious on using horse manure. Now, I'm not against horses. I'm not against their manure if they're fed the right feed. If they're fed alfalfa or if they're fed grass hay that has not been sprayed with a broadleaf weed killer, because when they spray that grass hay with broadleaf weed killer to kill all the weeds before they bale that hay, then that weed killer is going to be in that grass. And that horse eats that grass, and then he poops that hay out. It's going to be in that manure. You take that manure and put it in your compost pile. You stir it in there and cook it good all year and use it the next year. And you don't know it till you've already used it, put your tomato plants in. And I'm going to show you a little evidence. Now, I did what I usually don't do, and I tell other people don't do. Don't use horse manure unless you're 110% positive there is no broadleaf weed killer in this compost or in this horse manure. This gentleman assured me that he'd used nothing but alfalfa pellets. And I went and got about 10 or 12 dump trailer loads of this horse manure and put it in my compost. Then I used it this spring and I noticed some damage. I'm going to show you the damage so you'll know what it looks like. Now, this doesn't have to just come off your compost. Some of your neighbors can spray weed killer 2 or 3 miles upwind from you, and it can blow and come on your tomato plants. It can damage some of them and some of them it don't. It just whirls around and it'll get on different ones. Even in a greenhouse, it'll come through a greenhouse door and get on one up the other end, and one in the middle, maybe one over to the other side, and miss all the others. So it's a weird thing, but anyway, we're going to show you the damage and the evidence. Now, this is a healthy plant. If you notice this right here, it's still healthy. The leaves are all flat, laying open. I see a little bit of coming in here, maybe a little bit of curl. I can't tell. It's a little bit dark colored. It may show a little more. The hotter it gets in the summer, the more evidence it'll be. This is one right beside of it. You can see the evidence already. You see the leaves curled up here? This is the damage from the pick ram. Now, it'll not only damage your plant, it'll also damage your fruit. You won't have as much fruit. They won't be as good a quality. So, I went back after I saw this damage coming on and asked this man, hey, I thought this was all going to be strictly from alfalfa pellets. And he said, that's all I ever use, Leon, is alfalfa pellets. He said, but I bought this ranch off of a guy 4 years ago, and said, I don't know what he used before I bought the ranch. And I said, well, was there some of that pile out there, the manure that he used? He said, yes, that farthest part of it is what he used. So evidently, I'd got up in there and got into some of the good horse manure and then got some of the other horse manure in with it to cause it to be in this compost. So I'm just putting this out as a cautious. I don't want you to be afraid to use horse manure if you know that it's coming from hay that has not been sprayed with weed killer.